There he is.
That's me.
Now with 100% more E. There he is, E the artist. All right, Pugs and Parker every Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
All right, he has walk-up music. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I forgot. Oh, that's right. You want to do walk-on music now. You want to try it again? Or just so we can get the whole... Do you want to try it again? so that we...
Yeah, here. Let's.
All right. All right. We'll try it again. We'll make them down. All right. There you go. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, these shows now have 100% more E. Ladies and gentlemen, E.
Drop a dime on that. I don't like that.
Okay, no, you can't have walk-up music that begins with dialogue. It's got to be banging right from the start. What is wrong with you? You just stalled out the dance floor with your little...
Well, y'all said you were going to give me some buttons to do some sound effects.
Nobody promised you no buttons. What are you talking about? James, you promising him buttons?
I do not recall being the button tree where I just hand out buttons that magically work for other people. You're a grown-ass man who can go get your own buttons if you want to recommend.
I did, and he doesn't like them.
That's not a button. You're playing crap off of your phone, and it sounds terrible, and you can't cue it up right, and you're not hitting the posts, and there's
This
no
is a button. That's a button. You hear that? That's a button. You got to get some buttons over there.
Right. Get some. You're embarrassing me, Pugs, and yourself.
You're embarrassing professional button pushers everywhere.
All right.
All right. Hey, guys, quick question for you. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this. By the way, got to... Oh, okay. Well, this will all lead into it. I'm getting back into Facebook because I can't stand the Twitter anymore. So I'm coming back over slowly. I'm gonna dip my foot in the pool. I'll come back to Facebook. I'm also now on Instagram. Although I don't even know what my name is on Instagram. I don't even know what I'm doing there. Anyway, so I go to my page and I open it up, and I've got like hundreds because I haven't I don't go to Facebook regularly. Hundreds of new friend requests, right? All of these people that want to be my friend, hundreds and hundreds of them. And of course, the first thing you do is you look at the picture and you're like, yeah, is that real? You know what I mean? Because a lot of them are bots. And that's sort of my point. When I used to get these phony friend requests, be them on Twitter or wherever, Facebook, there were always like a girl in a bikini on a car, and it's like, Carla just wants to be your friend. And it was always very interesting, even though I knew what was going on. I'm not stupid. Carla didn't seek me out, a middle-aged man. I don't know who Carla is. I know something's going on because I'm not stupid. But lately, and I guess this is lately, because as I said, I clicked it and I've got like 100 of them. My bots, why are my Facebook bots old, middle-aged, non-hot menopausal women now? And all of these bots, I'm getting all of these women requests. A lot of them are Asian. A lot of them are like 45-year-old Asian women. And, we have no mutual friends. Or in the case where we do have mutual friends, because you always like to look at that, right? You like to see, okay, who else does this person know? But when the mutual friend is like a total known perv, you're like, oh, really? That's the only other guy? That's the only other person we have in common? This total perv. Does anybody else get these? Or is this just, the algorithm has decided I'm an old man now and don't even waste their time with young girls in bikinis? Now it's all age-appropriate bots.
Aim will go first.
Of course I get those. And I do all the same things that you say in terms of like, okay, look to see, do we have any friends in common? And then if there's no friends in common... Prior to doing this, I would eliminate them. Like I just would assume bot. But when you start doing, this again, and you start getting out in social media.
Oh yeah, I friended all of them.
You get you get people that have zero in common with others.
Yeah.
and then you friend them, and then next thing you know, like either the bot has got another bot that the bot's friends with or something. But like I got in this whole, I don't know, I want to say like section of stand-up comedians. And once I got like one or two or three, then they just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. And then I don't know how it happened, but like right. Well, I think before we went off the air, we had some comedians. And then I started mashing on social media about 3 years ago. And somehow I got into this like colony of stand-up comedians.
Well, that's not exactly the same thing. I'm talking about having my ego destroyed because some algorithm decided that I'm no longer viable with attractive women. Yes, James.
What you been searching for, Pugs? Did you search for MILFs in my area or no? Highland Park.
Not that I'm willing to discuss on a street. No. I mean, I'm not, certainly not on Facebook. I mean, I haven't been on Facebook in a long time.
Because
Well, and you're older.
Yeah.
well,
That's
also
kind of the whole point of this.
Yeah,
that I'm realizing that the algorithm now thinks I'm old.
here's an uncomfortable truth about algorithms. And this is going to be uncomfortable because it's true, is they are mirrors of you people. And so if you go to Twitter and it says not your following, but your for you, and you think it's just monstrous, that's because that's what turns you on. That's what you respond to. That's what, when you're scrolling through, that's what makes you pause. That's what makes you click. That's what makes you leave a like, a dislike, a share, a comment, a quote, retweet, something. That's what you like. And if that bothers you, there's something wrong with you, not the algorithm. And I am kind of proud that whenever I'm browsing Facebook or Amazon and I look at the ads, they are quite reflective of me. It's like, would you like some obscure, piece of broadcasting equipment for your studio, or would you like a pale, busty redhead MILF? I'm like, thank you. I'm glad you know me so well. There's benefits to being tracked and to them knowing who you are.
There you go. Yeah, this is what the Nazis said. Go ahead. This is what the communists said. Tell me about the benefits. Tell me about it. How this is going to improve my life.
No, I've been in a situation where I was looking up some of this, like this acoustic foam for your studio.
Yeah.
And I was looking some up and I was like, I'm thinking about just doing this whole other wall. And so I need 24 square feet. How much is that going to cost? And so I priced it out and I was like, that's a little high. Maybe I'll wait. And I kept getting fed ads for acoustic foam for about a month until I found a better deal. It actually did me a favor. And this is something I like. And this is something that I've been watching. I don't know. Maybe I've told you this story before, but I took a really cool class when I was in college, and I was a computer science nerd, and it was like a PC hardware class. But the professor took us through this exercise of saying, okay, what are computers going to be like in 20 years? When bandwidth isn't an issue, when hard drive storage space is no longer an issue, when all of these other things that are slowing us down now and funneling our efforts through these little bottlenecks, what happens when they all go away? And one of the things we all predicted was, well, when you watch TV, you're going to get served your own commercials. Everyone's going to have a different TV feed with their own personal commercials coming at them. And it's going to be for, dude, if you just had a kid, it's going to be for diapers or formula. And if you're if you're looking for a house, it's going to be deals for a mortgage or a condo in your area. And it's going to be better.
I'm glad you took that path on algorithms, because I often feel like I'm the only person in the world who doesn't give a fuck and actually finds them useful. I actually find the idea that I get, no, everybody, see, but this is, again, James, this is something I don't know, we don't talk about a lot on the show, but I'm a big believer in resisting programming, that we are just through osmosis living in this life programmed to believe certain things. The best example of that is that Nickelback is the worst rock band of all time. We're just all programmed to think that. It's not even remotely true, but there is programming. And part of the modern programming that we have is to be really upset about algorithms. And I'm like, why? They're actually really convenient. They actually can. Now, I was teasing when I said you were sounding like a Nazi, but there is something to be said for being understood by the device that you interact with for your own convenience. And that's what it is, to me anyway. And hold on, I'll get you in a second. This whole idea of us being tracked. Fucking track me. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing anything. Ain't nobody singularly interested in what I'm doing. Now, maybe if I was involved in some shady business, some international espionage, I might have a problem with it. But I don't give a shit if they track me between the Speedway convenience store and my house or what I'm looking at online. I don't care if some stranger in a room in the middle of the Utah desert knows what my Pornhub search history is. I don't care because I don't know that guy. I care if my mom knows, but as long as that guy doesn't tell my mom, I'm not paranoid by this idea of, what do they call it? An observation state or whatever it is that we're living in. Yeah, E, go ahead. I'm sorry. Before I started ranting, you were going to say something.
No, I'm listening and I'm agreeing with some of your stuff, but I think you ultimately remain pissed off at the algorithm because whenever it started, it just spread. And now that it's spread, you can't stop it. And so I'm still pissed off. And I do get mad when, like, I'll talk about something and I won't shop for it, but I'll talk about it. And then, lo and behold, Facebook or Instagram, or I'll type into Google, like, the first letter, and then that'll pull up.
So what you're suggesting is that they're somehow listening to you and what you're talking about.
They are.
Okay, so let's go with that. Let's say they are. Let's establish that they are. Why the fuck do you care? Who's listening to you? What does that have to do with your life? What's he going to do to you?
It pisses me off.
He's listening to 1 billion people, okay? I don't know that I'm doing anything
that's true. That's not true.
Oh, you're the only one that this is happening? This is
happening?
happening?
If you were to do something wrong or something illegal,
so don't.
They'd get into your Google, they'd get into your phone, and you'd get caught.
Okay, good. I think that people who are doing crimes should get caught. That's just me.
It's just like when they started, like, years ago, I remember the legislature in Texas, like, decided that they were going to put these traffic stoplight cams in. Yeah. And it was just for stoplights.
People don't like those at all.
And it was just for stoplights. And that's all it was going to be for. And where are we today? It's like, it's not just for stoplights. They don't even fucking use it for stoplights anymore. But all those cameras are everywhere.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. As a viral video enthusiast, I am so glad that those cameras are everywhere because they provided me with endless hours of entertainment. Half the shit that I watch is seen from a Ring doorbell or from cop body cam. But I'm just glad there's cameras everywhere.
In the wrong hands.
I have no fear of it. And I think the fear is programmed. Go ahead.
But in the wrong hands, you would be fearful of that. And it's almost like you can't.
I would.
I mean, true. Now if you're afraid, you just got to get rid of your cell phone.
If we lived, you're right. If we lived in a surveillance state such as we have now, and we were in 1984 Cold War Moscow, yeah, I would not like that. But we're in America, man. At least for the time being, we still have certain rules that would protect us should this go too far. We are not in Soviet-era Russia, James.
How long till they program like a military drone?
Right. How long? I don't know.
To specifically seek out your cell phone number.
Why are they specifically seeking out
to kill you?
To kill? Why? This is what I'm saying. Why are they killing me?
Well, I mean, at some point, they're capable of doing that.
What you were saying.
Why they kill JFK?
Because he was president of the United States and leader of the free world and made some decisions that affected the rest of the world. Me, not so much.
Yeah, well, if he's not safe, then I'm not safe. He's far more important than I am.
Right?
No one would even notice I was gone.
There's nothing wrong with what you say, and what you say is true. And I guess until I really gave it some thought, I was probably on your side. I don't like them watching it. But then I gave it some real thought over the years, and I don't care that they're watching me because I'm not doing anything. You know what? I'm glad they're watching me. Should I become the victim of a crime or something? Maybe they'll catch it.
And I'm not upset that I'm pissed off that there isn't the ability for me to be the old me.
The old criminal you. So this is sort of your inner. This is.
It's like if you were a crook today, you're gonna get caught. Like you gotta be.
We're talking.
Get around all this. Yeah,
we're talking in 1991 E right now, James.
Right.
80s.
Yeah, but you don't know burner phones. You don't know how VPN works. What do you think Nord?
Hell, dude, we were lucky when the brick phone came
I know,
out.
but,
Like you
I
would
mean,
go rent the mobile phone with the rental
You
car.
see ads for NordVPN, right? You've heard of this service, right? Yeah. So that turns your computer into what's basically a burner computer. You can go get whatever fake little Google accounts you want and just run a secondary lifestyle that's completely anonymous from that.
Go for
Well,
it.
but that's just on a computer.
And now you got to know stuff. He just wants to go around being him and not worry. If he decides that he wants to
No, I
get
don't
into the
like-
coke business or whatever.
Hey, who took the sports page? Hey, hey.
Who knows? If he decides to form a crew here in Highland Park and starts doing, second story jobs, he wants to make sure he doesn't get caught.
Yeah, I'm kind of suspicious here that Emil saw Tulsa King and went, "Oh, that's a good idea."
Yeah, it's true. It is worrying, isn't it?
Is that what's going on here? Is that what we stumbled on?
Emil watched Tulsa King and a month later bought a pot farm in Tulsa. That's
Oh, yeah, it has the license for the Northwest District of Legal Weed in the state of Oklahoma.
All right, guys, I got some stuff I wanted to get into tonight. Now, I don't know if you guys have anything you find to go first, but I want to share with you a couple of the things that I wanted to talk
Hang
about.
on, we do need to respond to a few of these comments here. Barney, it only bugs me when I already bought the thing and I keep getting the ads. That does kind of suck. That sort of echo you get, like when I bought a new soundboard and I keep getting ads for soundboards. Like, I don't need another one. I just spent $300 on this one, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I've been doing a lot of research into something called Delta 9, Delta 8, which are two legal weeds that are on the market.
Oh, yeah.
And e-bikes. And everything that I get on all of my Google and everything is e-bikes and CBD things.
Does
It's
that
like,
Delta stuff work? Because I hadn't tried it yet.
yes, it does.
Okay. You had pulled up the Sam the Mailman clip, but did you respond to it? The algorithms designed to increase engagement?
I think that was for you because you were the one that was. I didn't really speak.
Oh, yeah, I had said that. And then this other one, I thought this was no. Where was the chick one that says she gets one from dudes? Because I always wonder, like, what? Here it is. Yeah, Jennifer said, I get them for middle-aged old men who are supposedly in the military. So my experience reflects yours, Pugs. All of a sudden, I'm supposed to believe this 19-year-old Thai chick is interested in me. 0% chance, right?
Right. And then the minute you accept their friend request, you immediately get boop, hi.
Right? Like, who's falling for that crap? Like,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah, nothing.
you wouldn't be interested in me if I was 22, much less 45.
Right.
So you think the bot market on the female side is just as strong as the bot market is on the male
Hell
side?
no, it doesn't exist, but it's a fraction of the stupidity that men do because they think with their.
But like I thought she said she's getting like
There are, and they do get you.
middle-aged men that are
Yeah, they
like
will, but just not to the extent that men do. I mean, this is about separating an idiot from their money.
Okay,
And
so
it's
how-
much easier to separate an idiot man from his money. With
I love the chance to illustrate here the vast Grand Canyon difference between men and women. And the women's fantasy is some older middle-aged guy who probably like a little gray in his beard like this, but he like has a house, like that's what they're interested in.
He's got a pension.
We're like, did you have big boobs? And women are like, is he financially successful and stable? Right? It's like, how much more decent human beings are women than men? Just granted, what their fantasy being fed to them through these fake bots is.
I don't know if they're decent. They're looking for someone to provide them with security. I don't know if that's decent. Why
It's a more intelligent and rational
No, it's
way to
not.
choose a mate. Oh, yeah, it is.
It's quite selfish, actually, if you look at it that way. They're not interested in actually any physical attraction or anything like that. They're looking
Oh, it's
for
definitely
security.
selfish. That's what makes it so rational. What is a
Well,
19-year-old
you
Thai
seem to be
chick? What does she
romanticizing it.
offer me?
I think women are just as broken as men, just in different ways.
Yeah, but I don't think they're sending the 30-something, the 40-something-year-old woman a 22-year-old dude with a six-pack.
They're not.
Like I don't
They're not
think
that
that's
stupid.
their.
We're that
I don't
stupid.
think that's their
We're
bot.
dumb. Men are just, certain men lack the self-awareness to understand that this can't be real. This woman cannot have just sold you out on Facebook and now wants to be your friend and engage you in conversation.
But wouldn't you agree if you were a female, the bot that's created to drag you in is not necessarily going to be a physical specimen. Like, I don't think women are probably as fixated on what's the shape of the guy look like as men
Of course
are.
not.
And so I
Well, no,
think
no, yeah.
I think the
No, we're
female,
way
I
past
think the
that. That's elementary stuff.
no, but I'm saying I think the female bot, the image of the female bot is a lot tougher to pick out if you're a girl than it is to pick out if you're a guy. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
how do you sort through that if you're a female? Is it because,
Well, I think that's
I
just
mean,
because males are getting those bots at a like 20-to-1 clip against women, so we're seeing it more. We've been there, done that, sweetie. That person ain't interested.
Yeah, but for our reaction, it's like, okay, let me look at this again. You're a 22-year-old from Sweden with giant boobies. There's no
Right.
way you're interested. So on the woman's side, you could be like a 32-year-old single mom, and there's like some guy, and you have to tell yourself a similar story, but it's just a little twisted in a hurtful way here. It's like, oh yeah, you're financially successful and you have your own house and it looks like you have a decent, stable lifestyle. There's no way you'd be interested in me.
The men want the girl in the bikini who seems stupid and just wants to party because that makes the man feel young. The woman wants the 40-year-old man who's maybe got a teen daughter and his wife died. He's got a job at the bank. It doesn't matter what he looks like.
yeah, but aren't
Have a
his
dad
pictures
bod.
going to be difficult? Like, it's the bot, you log on and you get the pictures.
It's less obvious.
like-
Yes, it's less obvious from the pictures.
It's harder. It's more nuanced.
And that's what I'm
right?
saying. The guy that's the middle-aged guy, his pictures, are probably going to be tougher to acquire with other individuals around. You know,
What do
it's
you mean?
not just him like sitting. Well, what's it going to be? Him like sitting at his house by himself, like him in the backyard by the grill, like him on the boat, like
these are
wherever
real-
he is.
These are all stock photo images that they use. These aren't actual people. And sometimes they steal people's pictures, but you just get stock photos of guys that look handsome and
so
40.
you go out, you
Dependable.
meet a girl. You go out, you meet a girl. I don't know. I'm just thinking back to like the 20s, the 2000s when you started. And then a girl would be on Facebook, and then you would look her up on Facebook, and then you might date her. But I can't ever think of a time where a relationship started on Facebook.
Well, not for you, but there are plenty. I know people who've gotten married after meeting on Facebook. So I mean, maybe not for you, but younger people.
But now, would you even contemplate that? Like,
Yes.
with as many bots as there
I-
are?
Well, yes, because pretty quickly I'd be able to tell if it's a bot when they don't ask me for plane tickets. 20.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm married, but like any
Yeah.
female request I get, if I don't know the girl and
Right.
and there's zero friends in common, I assume it's a bot. So I'm out.
Right, but that's not going to stop me. Like, if a legitimate person reached out to me, like if it was a real person, they wouldn't do what bots do, which is, just hi, like that, or I saw your page, you seem interesting. They wouldn't do it. There would be more of a less robotic, for lack of a better word, give and take dialogue. You'd be able to tell fairly quickly if this is a bot or if this is actually a person who's interested in you. You should anyway. If not,
Oh, I sure like it when old white guys watch me rub myself. It's like, no, you don't.
okay, you're a bot.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, get out of here.
But
No
if you
one's
start
ever
telling
said
me
that.
about your son's little league game, I'm gonna know you're not a bot. I mean, there's
Right.
just
So this like just really like is interesting to me. So if you're the female, what's the pickup line?
well, it could be anything. It could be because men are allowed to make the first move. So a pickup line from a bot to a girl could be anything from "Hi, I was wondering if you'd like this." I don't know what a good pickup line is anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know, but whatever the.
Tell me about your feelings.
Because women are constantly being hit on by real dudes on Facebook. Dudes are
Constantly.
Well, that's what I would
what I mean?
think. There's like there's so I don't know. It just seems like you would be hit on by your normal friends in the Facebook environment if they were single and figured out you were single. Like if you know the person exists and they're real, then you're probably communicating with them on Facebook. But to get in that lane without ever having encountered them at some event or somewhere, I just don't ever see that working. I would think you would get deleted as a bot.
I think we lost Pugs here.
Is there any female that you've ever met on Facebook and you've kept as a friend if you didn't know them?
course.
If you weren't working this job? If you weren't working...
I don't
No.
know.
You don't.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I may have, because you do get tangled up in commenting on other people's photos and videos, and then you get in a conversation with some dude, and then you end up seeing them in person. And whether it's a dude or a chick, there's a lot of people that I've met on Facebook that when I finally meet them in person, I don't even know. I'm like, have I met you before? I think this is the first time we met in real life. I've just seen you on Facebook 1,000 times.
But I think the way that we all handled our Facebook page back when you were on the radio, and the way that you handle it when you're not on the radio, or you're just not interested in publicizing yourself through social media, you're just a lot more strict, and you don't friend, or I don't friend with people now that I have nothing in common with, or I can't figure out who they were. Where back when you were on 105.3, you might get 10, 20, 30 people that had nothing to do with anything other than you assume they were listening.
Yeah, that wasn't Facebook though. That was 105.3 was pre-Facebook.
That was MySpace.
Yeah, that was the MySpace days.
It was still Facebook.
No. We were Facebook 2010,
Tail end, yeah.
2009, something like that. The very tail end.
So then maybe that was 1190.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where that started.
Absolutely.
Okay.
and probably maybe even like the bone. I don't know. All right. So wait, I got a couple of topics. Unless you guys have something else you want.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Now we've got some choices here. I fell down a wiki hole today. I found the most fascinating conversation topic, I thought. You guys, we could go into vestigial organs. Do you know what vestigial organs are? This is fascinating. This is something that I had no idea about. I felt a vestigial organ is an organ or something that we have in our body that we don't need anymore. They're not there. And the reasons that we used to need them are fascinating. So I've got a little topic. I want to go through some and don't bring your appendix. That's like entry level. We have, because the
That's all I know. There's a lot more. Oh, don't we have it like a tail too, right?
Dude, I'll give you a taste of one. Okay, here's a taste of one. Goosebumps. Why goosebumps are vestigial? Why do we? That's called a vestigial reaction. Why do we have goosebumps? When the wind blows, we get a chill, or when we get a little bit spooked, right? We tend to get I got chill bumps, right? That kind of thing. Any guesses as to why we have goosebumps?
Because your hair straightens up.
James, you have a guess?
So I know like the cats do it to make themselves look bigger.
You guys are both right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. When our bodies were covered with hair and we were primates, we were basically like, at a different stage of the evolutionary process. If you believe such nonsense, when we would hear a predator, we'd get chill bumps just like we do now. Oh, we're a little bit spooked. But the chill bumps were because there were hairs on top. We were covered in hair. So the chill bumps would make you puff up. It would make the primates puff up and look both bigger and why do you get it when you're a little chilly? Why did chill bumps come when you're a little chilly? Because it raised up the hair and created this like warm air pocket between the outside. Fascinating! Vestigial things that we don't need anymore. Did you know that humans used to have that third eyelid like raptor birds do? They go...
Shut up. See, I didn't see, man, I am so into that.
When did we lose that?
Oh, a billion years ago. Yeah. But the vestigial remains of our third eyelid, like raptors and frogs and fish that go, the vestigial remains is that little, that little bump in the corner of your eye? There's like just a little fatty deposit right there in the corner of your eyeball. It's like a piece of skin that's balled up. That used to be the muscle that moved that eyelid side to side. We don't need it anymore, but it's still there. Evolution hasn't gotten rid of it yet.
All right, so I am way into this. The last leg of evolution is the one I'm most interested in because I really.
Well, how do we know what the last leg of you mean the most recent leg of evolution? Because we don't know what the last one is. We could all turn into fish people.
Well, so far the last leg up to this point. But when did they start the hominid genus? Right? When did we go from Australopithecus, which was what we were before we were hominids, into a human being. And they keep sliding the date around, but it's funny how all the scientists kind of somewhat agree, at least in the discussions that I've been exposed to, is the turning point that they're looking for is that second that human beings, is it when they use tools? Is it when they mastered fire? Is it when they mastered the trait that makes us human, that starts humanity, is the delayed gratification ability. Now, most animals do not have this, but it's the ability to where, like, if I like hit this moose with a spear and it's bleeding out, my visceral reaction, my animal reaction is to go chase it, and it's going to get up and it's going to run, and then I'm going to chase it and it's going to run, and it's finally going to bleed out like 3 miles down the road. However, if there's a human being who has the delayed gratification, the ability to think 5 seconds in front of his face and be like, if I don't chase the moose, he's just going to lay down, and I'll wait for him to bleed out there, and I'll save myself 600 calories worth of running. And so that the ability to delay gratification is what a lot of scientists are looking for in the thing that makes us human, the thing that makes us different than alligators and dogs, is the fact that we can see something, well, I could chase it right now, or I can wait, not chase it right now, and have a bigger prize in the future. And that ability to think about the future is sort of the line that a lot of people use, and I think that's fascinating.
And I think that's flawed thinking, because I think as a race, what are they called? What kind of organs?
Hominids?
Vestigial
organs.
No longer, they still develop in the human body, but are no longer needed.
Right. And this is why I think it's very important for the whole human race to have sex from somewhere around 16 until you're put in the ground. I think if you're elderly and you stop having sex, you run the risk of it becoming a vestigial organ, and it might just drop off. Like, so I think
That's not how it works, bro. That's not. It's not.
Like, if older people stop having sex, sex, the body then will be trained to know that at about 50 or 60, your sex life is over, and your organ may just stop working.
At that point, so it's moot. It doesn't matter. It's like cancer. You've already reproduced, so it's not really.
Well, why did the eyeball stop working?
Well, it ain't because you quit getting laid.
The eyelid.
The eyelid. Okay. Good question. Why do we no longer have that raptor eyelid? We still have the vestigial remains of where the muscle moved it, but why don't we have it? We don't have it anymore because, and this sort of goes back. James, you were talking about when did man go from being a beast to a man, right? Basically, that's the overall simplicity of the question. I would argue that to answer that, it would probably have something to do once that ape man or whatever had some sort of existential awareness that there was a greater world outside and that he was, he could make his own way. Anyway, get back to E's thing. Why did we lose the eyelid thing? Because we stopped living as predators and prey. We started to civilize ourselves. And over the course of 1 million years, we stopped needing to stay frosty and keep our eyes open at all times. We used to sleep with our eyes open. That's the other thing that I learned about this. And that was part of that because we had to stay completely aware.
Like a shark.
Yeah. Okay, Morris Fidget. Wait, I got other good ones here. You're going to love these. I got a whole bunch of them.
Comment from Jeff real quick.
Yeah, what does Jeff say? Y'all see that study on how monkeys and primates are starting to use primitive Stone Age tools? Give it 10,000 to 100,000, and they will be on our level. No, they won't, because we'll also have gone through 10,000.
No, but like they won't be on our level wherever we're at in 10,000 years.
But they might be where we are today.
They might be like where Mesquite is now.
Yes, humanity will be Manhattan, and monkeys will then be at the level of Mesquite. There you go. The tailbone. Oh my God, I have bruised my tailbone numerous times in my lifetime playing various sports. We don't need the tailbone anymore. Do you know what the tailbone was?
A tail?
Your coccyx?
Yep, your coccyx. Do you know what we used it for? And why we stopped needing a tailbone?
We literally had a tail.
And did you know that people are still born with tails? That sometimes that evolutionary gene, and they fix it? The coccyx or the tailbone, we stopped needing it once we stood upright. Yet evolution has not yet completely. When we had tails, why did we have tails? Because we walked on all fours like monkeys, and tails are used for balance. And so we developed these tails.
See, that seems wrong.
Well,
It seems like I would
it
have
is.
it.
I'm just telling you what the experts say.
I'm saying it seems like I would have a tail if I walked on 2 legs to give me a tripod.
Well, no, because we know in
versus
the primate
versus
world that
I was on
they use tails.
4 legs and then I need a 5th one, like a kickstand.
Well, but we know
That
from
seems like
watching
it would
monkeys
slow me
that
down.
they use tails. Primates use their tails for balance and for climbing and all that.
Well,
I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying I would think I would have a tail if I started on 2
thing is-
legs. I wouldn't have a tail if I was on 4.
Apes don't have tails. Apes don't have tails. Monkeys have tails, and most monkeys have prehensile tails, meaning they can like grab stuff with it, like pick up their laundry or whatever.
A tail that's like your
I could almost
finger.
read that exact same thing right off this the journal that I'm reading this out of.
Prehensile.
All right, how about this one? Wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth. Did you have your wisdom teeth removed?
I have had them. I've got one that's out.
Okay, so you
but
have
no,
had.
I did not have them removed.
But you have had some form of issue concerning your wisdom.
I have.
Okay, James, how about you? Have you had any wisdom teeth issues?
All 4 of mine have been removed.
Okay, so then I guess I'm the superior race here. I have never had any issue with wisdom teeth, neither has anyone in my family, and judging by this, that means that we come from the more evolved European peoples than you two mud freaks. I don't know why your teeth are still coming in. Wisdom teeth are vestigial third molars that human ancestors used to use to help us, because we used to eat plants. Like we'd eat like bark and shit. So we needed like more teeth to grind that down because we couldn't, our body, that's why we had an appendix, because the appendix also helped our body digest that shit. But we don't eat like that anymore. So we no longer have the wisdom teeth.
I think Jesus just wanted me to have an extra set.
Sure. Failure to develop wisdom teeth in human population ranges from 0 in Tasmania. Nobody in Tasmania develops wisdom teeth.
Wow.
Why
what
is
the
that?
hell is that?
Nobody. It's nuts, right? Isn't this shit weird? So nobody in Tasmania has their wisdom teeth. However, Tasmanian Aboriginals. So we're talking about indigenous peoples, right?
The black fellas, like in Crocodile Dundee, the black guys.
I think so. I'm guessing so.
Why
Right?
is that uncomfortable to say?
They are black guys. They
Yeah,
were
okay,
Crocodile
cool.
Dundee. That's what Aborigines are. Okay. I don't know. If you're offended by that, that seems to be a them problem, not an us problem. All right, so 0 in indigenous Tasmanian Aboriginals. They do not get wisdom teeth issues.
Do they even have a dentist?
Hold on.
No.
However, 100% of indigenous Mexican tribal people have their wisdom teeth removed. Somehow, 100% of indigenous people from Mexico have wisdom teeth issues, and 0 indigenous people from Tasmania have wisdom teeth issues.
That's wild. Well, maybe it's like the Mexican side of my family that gave me wisdom teeth. No, but Europeans have wisdom teeth. Isn't that a normal thing for?
Right, you're Spanish Mexican. You're not like a native indigenous person. Like the Mexican in your family is heavy Spanish European.
I
Conquistador blood.
At some point they mated with the locals because they were all mestizo.
You're right. You might have some.
They still are.
All right, that's why James is still. What do you? You went with the Jesus thing. It's because Jesus wants them to have better teeth. How about this one? For a second, complete separate. This is a good one. The vomeral nasal organ. The vomeral nasal organ is an organ that is in the nose that we still have, that we don't need. And why did we used to have it? You know what it lets us do? It lets us smell when females are in heat. It's, how animals can tell and they get horny? It's because they're using this organ that we humans used to use too. That we used to be able to smell. Yeah, imagine that. You'd be able to smell like when a woman's on her period, because that's what this is. But
First off, I think mine still works.
Sure. A bunch of creepers like you.
Yeah. No, secondly, like wouldn't it be amazing if we did have one of those and it did work and it was really up, like you didn't have to guess, like, is she in the mood? Like, how much problems would that save all of society if we could just tell?
When someone's horny, we could tell when they're
Yeah.
horny. We can tell. We can
Just
tell
save
when to
yourself-
mount them from behind without asking permission, because that's what it was for. You know, they didn't ask for permission
Yeah.
back then.
I mean, for me, it happens when I'm on the dance floor.
You can smell it when you're on the dead. Okay.
No, I can tell when I do a dance move. I call it the panty dropper, and then I can tell they're horny.
Here's another.
Wait, can we spend some time on this dance move?
Yeah, let's see the dance move.
Look, I don't expect you to like demonstrate it, but I'm interested in this because I was fascinated when I grew up and became a young man that the process by which humans courted each other had gone from asking your dad for permission to dancing some sort of waltz in the royal court to where we just go to like a nightclub and bang our cocks on random chicks and light, right? So is the music really loud? Are the lights blinking? All right, I'm just gonna bang my undercarriage on you, and you can just back up into me, and we'll see if we like each other. And I can't believe how well this works, right? Because when you describe it, it's stupid as hell. So when E says something that sounds stupid like that, I want to know
because who knows?
because these things have proven to be true over and over.
All right,
Tell me
here's
the panty dropper. What's the panty dropper move? What do you do?
It's just this stupid move I do on the dance floor, and it looks like a older white man is dancing, and it's a joke.
It works. All right, here's another one for you. This is gonna shock you. Are you ready? Vestigial organs, things we don't need, things that we can just completely.
I like that, Ross. Thank you.
Gentlemen, just right now, rip your ears off. You don't need your ears. These little flaps that are stuck to the side, they do absolutely nothing. We don't use them anymore. And they're filled with muscles that have atrophied because 1,000 generations of humanity no longer needs to turn their ears to hear a predator coming better. Have you ever seen when an animal is able to do that? Where they're able to, hear, like a dog will hear something and their ear will go like that. We used to be able to do that. These are all muscles. It's shaped the way it is because we could form a cup with it in order to hear better from distances. But we're not constantly being hunted by saber-toothed tigers anymore, so we don't need them. So our ears are just dead flesh stuck to our heads.
So the people with the really big ears, is it because that their muscles still have not have pulled back?
I don't know. I think that's more genetic.
No,
but
it means thousands of years ago, their ancestors were saved time and time again by those big, dumb,
those
ridiculous
big giant ears, right? And that's how Prince Charles got to be king.
See, one of the lessons we need to learn through all this is how just brutish and short and harsh life was for all of human and pre-human history up until about 60 years ago, right? We're just on the beginning end of I think we're the first generation that's just never missed a meal, never really been hungry, right? All of human civilization.
Well, we are a bunch of middle-class white kids from the suburbs. Yeah, James, we are. Yay for us.
But listening to this,
fine. There's poor kids
listening
everywhere.
to this stuff here of the changes, these are changes that have taken probably hundreds, thousands of years for them to occur.
Yeah, we're going back to the dawn of time.
Right? And so the species has really morphed into something.
Is this just dawning on you now?
No. What's
years
dawning on me is it's taken hundreds and thousands of years for people to morph like that, right? But it's only taken 20 or 30 years for people to start weighing 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, this metamorphosis of the world into these fat humans has literally occurred in 40 years. Not hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years.
No, I see. The point he's making, and a little clumsily so, is it took us, probably 200,000 years to get rid of that third.
That's my
eyelid.
style. Clumsy.
Yeah, but it only took us about 2 generations to put on, I don't know, 300-400 pounds on the heaviest of humans.
Yeah.
And that is kind of a huge leap when you look at proportions, because like just think of that tiny little flap. How long did that take to evolve versus this big chili pile that's now winning Grammys?
So do you know? It's funny you bring this up because I was just reading something about this a few weeks ago that I thought was interesting. Never thought I'd have a chance to use it on the air. Do you know that? So the recommended is what, like depending on your weight, but somewhere around 2,000, 2,500 calories a day, right? That's what you're supposed to if you moderate exercise.
I'm well above that, but yeah,
2,500. Do you know that right up until around 1940, the average person, and there were no obesity problems in this country back then, the average person was taking in like 6,000 calories a day?
Yeah.
You know why? Because they were doing labor. Because they were working their asses off back then. Now we sit at desks. We have computers. That's why we're all getting fat. But yeah, it's crazy to think that like they used to just, everything was butter and calories. Everything was real and just meat. They used to eat
Crisco.
Yeah.
They would have Crisco.
Whiskey at every meal.
Yeah.
Well, then look,
You can take Crisco and put it outside on your windowsill and come back in a year, and it'll still be there if it didn't get too hot.
We have a muscle in the very back of our neck that runs up our spine that connects our collarbones and all of this. And this muscle used to be used for the exact same thing that the ears. They're connected to the ears. They're part of what used to control the ears. So the ears, and there's a muscle that they attach to in the back of our neck that we do not use anymore because we don't need to go like this with our ears when we hear, sticks crack in the woods behind us. Let's see, a whole bunch of things with the arm. There is so much shit going on in the arm that we don't need anymore just because of the way we used to use our arm and the way we do now.
Really?
Torso, yeah, but it's stupid stuff. It's like dumb muscles that you didn't even... You ever like, when you get older and you start to like, you go, hey, that's snappy, and you snap your finger and you're like, shit, I pulled a muscle. That's one of those muscles. There's like a million of these little things that we don't really need.
Hey, for those of you just joining us, we're going through the wild and wacky world of vestigial organs. Vestigial organs, everybody.
Here's one. All right. This is one that I love. This is one that I love because it also plays into my theory that I might be part alien, or at the very least, somebody who's evolving quicker or more intelligently than other people. The tongue. Okay. So the human tongue is almost completely useless. Like, we don't do anything with the tongue except talk, but...
Tell that to my wife.
But before we developed language, before we used our tongue the way we do now to form words and letters and languages, we used our tongue in much different ways. We needed to make louder noises. We needed to make more intimidating noises, and we needed to be able to do things. And, the whistles, you ever see people that can just go, like we used to be able to control muscles in our tongue that could allow us to do any number of things. And 14% of people who are alive and walking the earth right now, 14% of people still have use of their tongue muscles, whereas everybody else doesn't. I'm one of those 14%. I can do shit with my tongue that you guys can't. And I realized this after doing it and people going, wait, what did you do? How do you do that? Because it's just always been supernatural. Maybe you can, because like I said, 14% of people. James, can you flip your tongue over? Can you roll it? Can you turn it into logs? Can you do all those things with it? Because those are muscles that we don't use anymore.
No, I can do like the hot dog thing, but I can't do the turnover. No. And then there's the people that can do like the 3 ridges, which I used to could do, but I can't in adulthood for some reason.
Like that.
Yeah.
I can do it all. Here. I can flip it both ways.
Now, I met a girl in college named Tiffany who was
So did I. That's how I found out about my tongue. Go ahead.
No, that was absolutely gorgeous, except she had one thing that freaked me out, and she had what's called a geographic tongue.
Ooh, what's that? That sounds interesting.
I thought that might be a vestigial organ, or at least a vestigial trait of an organ, where her tongue has these giant ridges on it, where it looks like you're looking at, how like the back of an alligator or something has ridges on it. She has a geographic tongue, and she says she can taste very well, like better than normal tongues. Yeah. But
I
it's
can
also
taste
a
my own
problem.
taste buds. I can rub my taste buds together.
She cannot eat.
You can't.
She cannot eat extremely hot food because her tongue is too sensitive. It makes it tender. and kind of swell up like a bruise. It bruises your tongue if she eats like really hot chili peppers and stuff.
What about you? Can you do the yoga mat? Can you do the flip
Yoga
over?
mat. Yeah.
Can you do it?
Probably
Can you
not.
do any of those? See, you guys, seriously, I only learned that this was special in my 20s. I just always did stuff like that. I thought everybody could do it. The other thing is the eyebrows. Can you guys raise your eyebrows? That's the head muscles that we don't use anymore. We used to be, when we didn't use language, we used to have far more use of our facial muscles to convey. Yeah, James, you got it. Can you raise one eyebrow? Can you do? Wait,
Yeah.
how do I do the other one? So I can do one. Can I do the other?
What good does that do?
Well, there we go. It doesn't. Well, it does us no good. That's why we don't use them anymore. That is why they're vestigial. They do us no
What
good.
you can still raise it though. Like you haven't lost the ability to raise it.
Well, no, people have. That's the thing. Most people cannot use those muscles and make their eyebrows go up and down. They can make them both go up at the same time.
Well, that's because they've had Botox.
No, no, it's not. It's because we now have language, and we don't need to utilize all of these different aspects of our face to convey an emotion or a threat or whatever. But that's why we used to be able to do all kinds of things, like because we were grunting and trying to look, but we don't do that anymore. Okay, behavioral. All right, we already talked about the goosebumps. Behavioral, vestigial behavioral reactions. Goosebumps. We don't need that anymore.
Right. Not necessarily a body part, but still the point.
I feel like I'm sitting in a college course here.
A really lame one.
Actually, think this is. All right, we're done. That's it. I thought this was interesting.
No, I never did
No, we're
college,
good.
so go
No,
ahead.
we're
I never did
we're
a day.
good. I was going to tell you about hiccups, but don't worry about it. Never mind. We're done.
Why? I want to
No,
learn.
we're good.
Oh,
We want to know
okay,
about
little-
hiccups.
Wouldn't want to do a boring college lecture. Here I am. I thought this was fucking fascinating. I didn't realize I had a couple of assholes as partners, but go ahead. No, whatever you
You
want to
knew
do.
we were assholes before you started.
I never been to college.
We take it back. We take it back. We're very sorry, Pugs.
I didn't know that college was that awful.
Shut up. Let him finish the list.
No, we're done. We're moving on. We're moving on to my next thing, because you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm just taking over. All right, here's what we're going to do. James, I got something for you. I thought about you when I pulled this out today. Actually, I stumbled across it. You know, your PSAs are a fan favorite. Everybody loves your PSAs.
Except for Gavin.
Yeah, that's true. Gavin didn't like your PSAs. Dude, we got to watch something. I found something from 1974, a PSA from 1974. Now, James, you weren't even born yet, right?
Oh, man. I already like where you're going with this, because when I watch PSAs from any time around my childhood or before, they're all lies. Like every single PSA is full of just the worst advice you could possibly, like the time for timer. Why don't you eat a cracker with cheese on it? That's a great healthy snack. No, it's not. It's carbs with like fat and lactose. Yeah, great snack. Holy crap. Anyway, go ahead.
Time for timer was full of shit. Those were
The worst.
remember what they would make? They taught us how to make a wagon wheel.
It's a wagon wheel.
It's a wagon wheel. Like, that doesn't seem good for you. I'm trying to
Latchkey kids are like, this is good advice.
sitting there watching that during cartoons. I'm trying to cut weight for 7th grade wrestling. You know, I got timer telling me I should go eat some crackers with cheese. No. All right, so I found this 1974 PSA. It's an anti-smoking PSA. Now, you probably remember what TV looked like in 1974. You and I do. I mean, barely, but I'm sure he was just a couple years older, so. This PSA from 1974 from the Anti-Smoking Council can only be, best described, I would say, as a psychedelic fever dream by somebody who took acid, and then there were so many crazy things going on. Like, you'll watch it and it'll look normal, but it looks too normal. It almost looks like an alien watched our culture in 1974 and then said, this is what human culture is. Dude, there's so much shit going on. Okay, like, first of all, it's the Brady Bunch house. They're in the Brady Bunch house. This whole PSA is shot in the fucking Brady Bunch house. And it's obvious. It's the same furniture. Secondly, the stars of this PSA campaign are Tom Bosley and Marion Ross, the Cunninghams from Happy Days, okay? So it's the Cunninghams.
Oh man, so we're crossing streams here. Like you're not
It's a
supposed, like in
favorite dream.
Ghostbusters, if you cross streams, it creates a paradox and ends the world.
Do you know how when you have a dream and you wake up in the morning and you're like, man, that made sense at the time, but the duck on roller skates going through the Welcome Back Kotter classroom, like the elements are all real. That's what this is like. This is like a
Parents from
dream.
Happy Days. We're in the house from Brady Bunch. Yeah.
But they weren't the parents from Happy Days. They looked and they
They were
acted
telling you
exactly.
about drugs or something.
No, they were chain smoking. That's the other thing. The parents from
PSA
Happy
for?
Days. The parents from Happy Days are in the Brady Bunch house, slamming whiskey, chain smoking, and hanging out with black people, which is another thing that didn't happen in 1974. But you'll see. You'll see. Shall we watch this PSA? It is the craziest.
Okay, I love that.
All right. There is a lot going on here. That's all I'm saying. All right. I'm gonna let this. We'll bring this
The
up.
Frito Bandito is covered under the DACA executive order. He's fine. Yeah,
Yes, he's a dreamer.
yeah he's a dreamer. He's brought here as a minor. It's no fault of his own.
All right, here we go. All right, here you go, guys. Buckle up. You're going to have questions because I had a whole bunch of questions. But remember, it's the Brady Bunch house. It's the Happy Days cast, but it ain't Happy Days yet. Happy Days didn't start for 2 years. This is just some weird pairing of two people who would go on to be, in coming years, like America's favorite mom and dad. But they weren't. It's crazy. All right, here we go. Just watch all the crazy shit going on here. All right, there you go. Does you recognize that house?
So this is the parents of Happy Days before they were the parents on Happy Days in the house with Brady Bunch, and they're going to tell you about
Chain smoking and acting like swingers in the Brady Bunch living room. It's
they're going
crazy.
to tell me to wear a mask because that would blow my mind.
There's a lot going on here. All right, there's the establishing shot. Here, I'm going to make this. I'm going to get rid of us, okay? So that we can all.
But we are kind of beautiful.
Well, we are, but let's make this as big as possible. And then let's just enjoy how crazy 1974 was. This is an anti-smoking ad.
Here, let's read it.
My kid just decided what he wants to be when he grows up. A lawyer, like us.
Are you gonna let him?
Oh, I have to, I guess. In Senate, he runs in the family.
Hey, that cough reminds me. I gotta get the muffler on my car fixed. Look who's talking. I just got a frog in my throat.
Sure,
Oh, I know.
Hey.
When the frog gets cancer, you're going to throw him away and get a new one. Oh. New burn, Maggie? Oh, where?
Okay, just to establish, it's the Brady Bunch living room, right? We all know that living room.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, that's not even.
Hang on, is that Cliff
The establishing
Clavin?
shot was the Brady Bunch house.
Is that John Ratzenberger / Cliff Clavin?
No.
I think it's the Brady Bunch house, but I've never seen those three brown things up there with the.
No,
squares
I never
in it.
saw black people on the Brady Bunch either, but that doesn't mean that they weren't
That's not
allowed
what
to
he
live in.
means. He means the
No, but that
sorry.
fireplace, the fireplace, and those three brown things with
But then
the
they're people.
silver.
Hey, so for real, back it up. That's not John Ratzenberger. That's not Cliff Clavin from Cheers. That's on the right in that opening scene.
That's not the Brady Bunch house.
Okay, that's not even fucking debated, all right? Should I read you the story? It was shot at the Brady Bunch house.
was.
That
It
is
was the
absolutely
Brady
the
Bunch house.
fucking Brady Bunch house.
The
Here,
wood paneling is
you
different.
dumb motherfucker. I am going nuts now. I can't believe you're derailing the shot. That is the Brady Bunch house.
That is.
Yes. In the
That is. The interior does not look like what I saw in the Brady
oh,
Bunch.
motherfucker. All right, guess I got to pull up Brady Bunch pictures.
No,
No,
just
I'm not going to let him
finish-
do this.
finish
I'm not going to let him
it.
do this. I'm not going to
I
let him do
swear
this.
that's Cliff Clavin at the beginning, though. Can
It ain't Cliff Clavin. I'm done. The show's over. You people.
pretty sure it's Cliff Clavin.
What?
Watch this. Oh, there's
We
more
pay
too.
$500 a year for the privilege of burning holes in our furniture. Hacking coughs, Godzilla breath, don't touch me hands.
Could be a lot worse. I could be a drinker. Tell her about how my secretary down at the office is always after me, huh?
One thing you don't get from your secretary is cancer.
Well,
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you.
Also, E, your dad didn't have any black friends over at the house in 1974, did he? No, he did not. White people in 1974 of this generation did not mix like this with black people. This is Hollywood
They did.
aspirational.
Well, my dad wasn't dressed in a suit and tie like that either.
Well, yeah, but I think that's more believable because they didn't really have t-shirts and sweatpants back then. You know, I mean, it was everybody dressed. You went to ball games in a suit and tie. I think that's kind of believable. Nobody is thrown from that this couple has a very close relationship with a black couple, because that's not a thing that was happening in 1974. I'm not saying it was something that shouldn't have happened. I'm just saying we weren't there. Suburban white America was not entertaining with black people in the living room in 1974, but that's okay. It's TV.
George, he's smoking too much. And while we're at it, you too, Bill. Me too. And so do you all.
I'm too busy at the office to quit now. But when I go on vacation, then I'll stop.
Where have I heard that before?
I'm going on vacation next week, but I can't go through the torture of quitting. Why, it would blow the whole trip.
I'm on a diet now, and smoking's the only pleasure I've got left. Oh, you know what I mean, but I'm going to quit the moment I get back to my regular goodies.
Sally, honey.
All right. There's that one.
Was that a sex joke?
That's yes. Okay, we're in a bad headspace. If you people had actually listened to the dialogue, it's very weird. There's like connotations of swinging. You know, they're drinking. The Cunninghams aren't supposed to drink like that, yet they have the same chemistry. They have the same Howard and Marion chemistry that they had, which is weird.
And they have black friends, so that's totally suspicious.
I'm just saying that that's not a true depiction of what was going on in 1974. It would be wonderful if that was the reality of 1974, but I'm telling you that it wasn't. Okay. All right, here's another one. You want to see Howard Cunningham get sexually frustrated by his hot secretary at work and need a cigarette? Because that's another commercial.
Yeah, sure. Oh, he kind of alluded to that. Like, I need it. I keep getting turned on. I got to have a smoke. What?
Thank you. Because, James, if you're so interested, this is just a couple of different commercials that were carved out of a 30-minute special. It's a full sitcom, and it tells the whole story.
So is The Office from Bewitched?
No, it's The Office from the Bob Newhart Show. All right, there you go. That's The Office. Now, I don't know where The Office was. It looks like just a generic.
Is this an anti-smoking PSA? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so here you go. All right, so now this is Howard Cunningham getting sexually frustrated at work and needing a smoke. All right, here we go.
Look at that ass.
What's up, Heidi?
Yeah, that's the chick from Car Wash. I don't know if you guys are a fan of the movie Car Wash, but that's the hot blonde in Car Wash. Showing up in this. Look up. She's shaking her butt. He needs a smoke.
Smoke.
I think this is it, Mr. Harvey, unless there's anything else you'd like.
Yes.
All right, did you catch that? That's straight up porn music.
I think this is it, Mr. Harvey, unless there's anything else you'd like.
No. Here.
I think this is it, Mr. Harvey, unless there's anything else you'd like.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yes. Could you get me into intensive care?
People smoke to reduce tension, and people smoke to relieve frustration.
You want some more coffee? Thanks.
All right, you want to tell me how this isn't the Brady Bunch kitchen? Would you like to do that?
That looks like the Brady Bunch kitchen.
Yeah, because it's the Brady Bunch house. All right. Oh, and also the little kid here, that's Robbie Ray from the Brady Bunch. This little boy who's going to come in and sit up. Oh, is that him right there? I don't know if you remember Robbie Ray from the Brady Bunch.
I still think you could have beat me that last set if you had any wind left. Oh, speaking of wind, George says he's going to be home early tonight, so anytime you and Bill get here, that's just fine.
She's playing with cigarettes. Did you remember that back?
That's the tiny little Brady Bunch
I think you could have beat me that last set.
No, not
if you had any wind left. Oh, speaking of wind, George says he's going to be home early tonight, so anytime you and Bill get here, that's just fine. Good.
Watch.
Oh, honey, don't play with those. They're not good for you.
Yeah.
The serve was good today. I think I'm putting more slice on the ball.
All right, there you go. That is a weird-ass fever dream of all kinds of mixed-up themes and storylines. And it's part of a bigger 30-minute special that I'll probably be watching tonight as I fall asleep. I'm going to watch the whole 30 minutes all as one situation comedy.
So this whole thing was an anti-smoking PSA?
Yeah, it was an anti-smoking PSA created by the American Lung Association. Here, I got it right here. And I get the whole story. It's called the Let's Call It Quits campaign. And it's from 1974. Let's see here. Let's Call It Quits is a PSA that was produced by the American Cancer Society in 1974, although there is very little information available online. The World Online Community Resource Sites claims that there are at least 2 VHS copies of the full PSA available. By the way, the full PSA is on YouTube. Although I found an online source, blah, blah, blah.
Was this the campaign that Yul Brynner did?
No, that was the most effective one of all time. That was bad. That was, I'm Yul Brynner, and if you're seeing this, I'm dead. And it started airing like the day after he died. So it was like a big news story that he was dead. And then we're watching Starsky and Hutch the next day, and the commercials come on, and it's the guy who just died going, I'm Yul Brynner, and if you're seeing this, I'm dead, because I smoked.
But this wasn't a continuation of the stop smoking, like Yul Brynner wasn't that?
No. Same, well, American Cancer Society, the same thing, but different campaign, I'm guessing. All right, there are some facts in this production that we just cannot ignore. One of those key pieces of information involves the use of the Brady Bunch sets. Okay, those were the Brady Bunch sets. The use of the Brady Bunch sets on the popular series, which had just come to an end after her 5-year run at ABC. So they still had, the Brady Bunch had just ended. So they still had that. So they just, and you know what else I'm guessing? The Brady Bunch wasn't wildly successful in first run. The Brady Bunch became big in reruns. So maybe it wasn't that recognizable in 1974. You know what I mean?
I am fascinated to find out after the fact how so many of these huge legendary shows had such a short run. 5 years, that's all you did.
Yeah.
I mean, you packed up all the kids growing up, and then when they had to bring in Oliver because the kids were getting kind of long in the tooth or whatever, that was really only a 5-year run. And like I remember WKRP being this iconic show that just
not a hit.
4 years, four seasons is all they had. And what did Star Trek have? Star Trek that still has nerds running around wearing their damn uniforms and conventions to this day, and it was only like 3 or 4 seasons, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they were not hits. None of these shows were hits.
Wow.
You know, it was a hit. Gunsmoke. It ran for 22 years. But these other shows,
Bonanza,
Gilligan's Island was only on for like 4 years. The reason that we see these shows as iconic American television shows is because they were failures when they first came out. So there was no big price tag on it. So when local television began syndicating reruns of old shows, they were able to buy up all the non-hits. And the non-hits were like Brady Bunch and Partridge Family and the shows that would then go on in syndication to become iconic. But they weren't iconic the first time.
Was Lost in Space?
I don't think Lost in Space was a big hit. No, I don't think so, because that didn't run very long. If shows were making money and they were hits, they ran. You know, I mean, they kept going. Let's see, what does it say here about it? The Brady Bunch sets, the popular series, had ended its 5-year run on ABC on March 8th of 1974. Happy Days, which was yet to be produced by ABC, would begin a 10-year run in January later that year. So that's why it's Howard and Marianne. Or Marion Cunningham, because they had already been cast for this new show, Happy Days. By the way, Happy Days was a hit. That's why it ran for like 12 years. You know, Happy Days stayed on.
And Laverne and Shirley seemed like it was.
Yeah, Laverne and Shirley's a big hit.
What about All in the Family?
Huge hit, massive hit, one of the biggest hits of all time. Yeah. But it's the shows that we know from watching after school as little kids, when we'd come home and watch them in reruns. You know, whether it's like the Andy Griffith Show was a hit, but that was in reruns too. But I think that was cheaper because it was black and white.
You'd see I Love Lucy.
Yeah, that would have been an expensive one. You didn't see I Love Lucy as much as you saw like the Little Rascals or the Three Stooges, because those were cheap. You could buy those up for cheap because ain't nobody seen those. When those started running, when the Little Rascals started running for us and the Three Stooges for us in the 70s, nobody had seen those guys in 30 years. It was like the bloom was so far off the road. You know what I mean? It was a
all right, hey.
Like you would see Flintstones and Scooby-Doo. Like those were also ones that you would catch in the afternoon.
Yeah, and those were different. Those were big. Those were Saturday morning.
And you'd catch Batman.
Yeah, Batman wasn't a hit. Everybody knew the original Batman with the pow and the kapow. That wasn't a hit. As a matter of fact, they tried to keep that on the air because they thought it could be a hit, but it wasn't. Batman only ran for like 3 seasons. Didn't run for a long time.
Adam West Batman?
Yeah.
All right. So are you done with the vestigial organs and all that?
I'm done.
All right. So let's do a lightning round. I want y'all to guess these old TV themes. Now that we all got our old TV boners engorged, I'm just going to, we could do this in like 2 minutes. Okay. Just shout it out, the first recognition, and we'll go on to the next one. Ready?
All right.
Huh?
I don't want to just jump in. E, you got it?
I had no idea.
Home Improvement.
Yes, Home Improvement.
I didn't watch that.
I didn't either.
Didn't watch this one.
E, they're saying the name of the show. You can't name that show? They're saying the name of the show.
Living Color.
There he goes. There he goes. Never watched the show because I'm neither gay or a middle-aged woman. But James, James, you might be familiar with the Golden Girls because you probably were in.
Quite familiar, and I really like Blanche because Blanche was there was the serious one, and then there was the dumb one that was Betty White, and Blanche was the whore. Right? That was her.
Was that Rhoda?
She was just an absolute whore, and that was her gimmick. Like she was just always getting smashed. Like
wait, what did you say? E?
Was that Rhoda?
Blanche.
Remember
Blanche
there used to be a show, Rhoda?
Yeah,
was that part of the girls?
No,
Wasn't she?
All right, next one.
Enough of Mary Tyler Moore.
You got 5 seconds to get this one.
E, come on, you gotta know this one.
Samson or George. The Samson and Sons, right?
Judges. No, it's not Samson and Son.
Sanford.
And Son.
Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son.
Favorite show when he was little. Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man, when my kid was 4 or 5 years old, he used to love it.
I called it Sanford. It's Sanford.
Sanford.
Fred Sanford. Lionel.
E, come on, this is a layup.
Why am I always getting the layup?
I know all of these. There isn't a TV theme that I don't know, so I'm allowing you a chance to go first before I tell you it's The Office.
The Office.
And I'm also trying to get you to do it before the Chip does.
Too soon? Is it too soon?
No clue.
Come on, Abel. Hey, I'll give you a hint. Boy, this drink sure is strong.
Cosby Kid.
Yeah, Bill Cosby.
There he goes. Good one. This drink sure is strong. Okay. I don't know it.
I can give you a clue if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a clue on that one.
Heather Thompson?
Who?
Heather Thompson?
Heather Thomas, you mean?
Yeah, Heather Thomas. Yeah. And
That's Fall Guy?
Oh, no, wait.
Your clue sucked. Your clue. I didn't think that
No,
was
it's PJ
Fall Guy.
Hooker. Is that the other Heather?
Oh, that's Heather Locklear.
Oh, that was the original
You
Heather.
tripped me up.
God damn it. I really apologize for that. I'm embarrassed for that one.
You don't know your Heathers. I bet you back in 1985, E knew the difference between Heather Locklear and Heather Thomas.
Yes.
E?
It sounds like something from a Freddy or Jason movie.
Yeah. Unsolved Mysteries.
Seems like they should be running through a puddle in the rain.
Close.
There's a time for love and a time for living. Take a chance and face the wind.
Come on, E, this is right up your wheelhouse. Come on.
Oh, my
And your
God.
life around the ring.
No.
There were times
You know.
lost a dream or two.
Here you go. Chorus. You're going to know the chorus.
And at the end was you.
Oh, is this with Tony?
Yes, Tony Danza.
Tony Danza.
Are you not reading the comments already?
I'm trying not to. I'm actually not looking at the comments because. Come on, E.
Out of my wheelhouse.
God, this is right in your wheelhouse.
Oh, I've heard this one now.
But he doesn't know what it is. He's heard it.
Company 2, right? That was Mr. Roper.
There you go. Just a random character from the show he throws out.
I realize I know the names. I don't know a lot of the melodies.
Did you remember like being a
This
kid?
is a new
like,
bit. This is a new bit. What doesn't Emil know, James? This is a new bit. We got to do this
I
with
would be
him.
really bad at this game too. But I remember being a little boy being, oh man, you know how awesome that would be to be a grown up and you just live with two chicks. Like you just live with them. Like they're like going to the bathroom and changing clothes and taking showers and stuff just in the next room, and like that would be amazing. And then when I grew up, there was a time for a while there where I was living with a lesbian couple, and it was very Three's Company, and it kept coming up all the time that I was Jack Tripper. But
All right, wait a second.
it's a beautiful piece of music.
It is a beautiful piece of music. Do you have a guess? Because it's one of two things. Is it Dynasty?
Wow, you are really good. That's Dynasty.
It is Dynasty. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was either Dynasty or Falcon Crest. I was like, I think it's Dynasty.
It's the same thing. Damn. All right.
Don't know about the future.
This is Dr. John singing.
Ain't no good reason for getting all depressed. Buy up your pad and pencil. I give you a piece of my mind.
I'll be honest, no idea.
Blossom.
Opinionation.
I don't know Blossom.
I've never watched Blossom.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on
Never thought I could be so free. Finding a way, always on a prayer. This was actually a hit song. This was a crossover onto the radio and became a hit song.
I had this 45. I had it on a 45.
You had the Greatest American Hero on 45.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
All right. E, get this one. E, get this one. Get it, E.
This one's got to be in his DNA. He was probably like 10 years old here.
Welcome back.
Okay. He's got to wait.
Welcome back. Who? Who?
Cotter.
Welcome back, Carter.
Cotter.
All right, that one kind of expired itself. It said it. Fraggle Rock. Did y'all ever watch Fraggle Rock?
I did.
Okay. What was
No
like?
News is Good News with Gary Gnu. That was my favorite.
Good. That's good.
Oh, no, wait a second. That was Great Space Coaster. No, I never
Right.
watched
Close
that.
enough. Same thing.
It was Vinnie Barbarino
That was well
and
done.
Epstein. The Love Boat.
He got one. He nailed one with no help. That was right in his wheelhouse. I'm sure a 12-year-old he watched some Love Boat.
Spending my time just holding the line.
Not a clue.
Webster.
Yeah, I didn't watch Webster.
Wow, it was such a hack show, such a different strokes rip off. It was amazing.
I was a different Strokes guy. I saw it for what it was and
definitely.
watch. Sounds like when I'm on hold with the bank.
It
It was like Madonna.
Same song. It's the theme song to Alf.
Hey, you guys!
Huh?
Is that the electric company?
Yes, sir.
I knew that. Hey, you guys!
This is a show of 1,000 boners for young James.
Never watched Baywatch.
Huh?
Never watched Baywatch.
Oh, you know it? You knew it was Baywatch?
Well, yeah, because I know pop culture. I know the theme, but I never watched Baywatch. No.
It was just about the stories were ludicrous. The dialogue was on a 4th grade reading level.
Yeah.
It was all about the bathing suits and the slow motion bouncing.
Yeah. I mean, I knew about the hot chicks, but wasn't that show on at like 8 o'clock on Saturdays?
I don't know.
It came at a time when I was tending bar.
We got 3 left. 3 left.
All right, there we go.
E, come on, man.
Come on,
Wake up.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I believe in you, E.
It's not Cheers. Don't do Cheers. It ain't Cheers.
Pretty close, but yeah.
It's a show that I re-binged about 2 years ago, and it holds up. It's still very good.
Really?
As a matter of fact, I argue that peak TV didn't begin with The Sopranos. I believe that it began with Stephen Bochco's Hill Street Blues back in the 1980s.
E, do you have any blood running through your veins at all?
Bob Barker.
Have you called in sick?
The Price is Right.
He got it. He knows that one.
So this will be the last one for today's exercise.
All right.
Bonanza.
Hey, look, there you go. The only thing that means anything right.
John Hinckley.
Yeah.
Reagan attempted assassin.
It is John Hinckley. All right, bye, folks. All right, see you guys. Look at us going long.
Suckers.
Look at us giving an extra long
you're
Thursday
welcome.
show.
Hey, and for all the people that are enjoying this extra bonus content, no charge.
No charge.
No charge. That's how nice we are. You're welcome.
Thank you for this. E is picking up the tab on this one, so thank you very much.
You.
All right, bye, guys. There they go. Till we meet again. And when is that, you might ask? When are we going to meet again? Tomorrow at noon, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. High noon with me. It's just me and all the topics. Headlines, current events, whatever it is that people are buzzing about, I'll give it to you there tomorrow at noon. I'll run it down for you. It's a utilitarian show. You need it. You need it like you need fresh water pumped into your home. You need it like you need it like you need the lights to turn on when you flip that switch. It's a utilitarian show for your own good, so God damn it. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bye, everybody. I'm Pugs. That was James Parker with E. We do this on the Radio Misfits podcast platform.
Everything is gonna be alright. Never give in to the devil's curse. If you do, you'll always find something worse. If the people wanna put you down, go where